Yeah, that's the Tello, a pretty noisy drone, but I really like it. There's some really good things about it and some not so great things about it, so stay tuned for my review and I'll tell you everything you need to know. Alright, the Tello, sitting back there. Is it a great drone? Yes, it's an awesome drone. Is it a really good indoor drone? It's awesome indoors, probably one of the best indoor drones I've seen in a long time. Is it a really good outdoor drone? Not so much. It doesn't like the wind. Now there is a lot to like about the Tello, but it's a first generation drone, so it's got a lot of good stuff, and it has some stuff that's not so good that RYZE and DJI are going to have to tweak in the near future. Now I'm going to show you everything I love about this drone, and it's quite in depth, and I'm going to show you everything I don't really care for in this drone that needs to be fixed. Here we go. For build quality, I would give this drone an above average score. You can see the build quality when I take off the removable top cover. The entire frame is made out of a kind of resin plastic that is solid yet able to take an impact. When I remove the battery, you can see that there's very little room remaining to house the flight controller, Wi-Fi, the sensors, and the camera. Speaking of the camera, look at how tiny it is. It's just a miniature pinhole camera, yet the 5 megapixel photos it takes are of really good quality. Unfortunately, there's no option to insert a micro SD card into the Tello to save your photos and video. Everything is saved on your phone or tablet. What you see is, well, what you get. Perhaps the Tello version 2 will include this option. One odd thing is that in the Tello app itself, there is a quality settings for photos. You can set it to normal or high, but the Tello app does not save your settings, so each time you connect to your Tello, you'll have to reselect this option. This is also true for the bitrate settings for video. It defaults to auto each time you open the Tello app. Here are a series of photos. Some are taken indoors and some are taken outdoors. As you can see, the photos are really acceptable. Here I took some photos under cloudy skies in a park, and at the distance you can actually read the writing on the signs. One negative with the camera, however, is that it's non-movable. So what this means is you'll never be able to fly above yourself and take photos looking straight down, and it will always be difficult to frame a shot. You'll really have to fly the Tello far away from you to get yourself in the shot and whatever objects you also want in the shot. Now, as I've stated, the Tello has a really good 5 megapixel camera, and this is partially because there's actually image stabilization. The problem is when you try out the video for some reason drops frames and it looks kind of choppy. Now RYZE is aware of this problem and there should be some firmware updates coming in the future. Now a lot of people that are going to buy the Tello, this may be their very first drone, and RYZE did a really cool thing. They put right in the Tello app a help chat function so you can actually speak with a human if you have any issues. So here you're going to see, I'm going to try it out. Since my Tello does not have smooth video, it's kind of choppy, I go ahead and I engage chat with RYZE. In less than a minute, there was a human answering my question. Now that's pretty impressive. And the response was pretty good. First response was, hey, why don't you go fly someplace where there's less interference? That's a good response. However, I had already tried that and my video was still choppy. The next response, well, that wasn't so great. It says, my phone is not supported. Actually, the more I look at the Tello, a ton of phones are not supported. In addition, when I tried to use a tablet like the Samsung Galaxy Tab A tablet, the Tello app tells me it's not supported and the Tello app would keep on crashing. So then I tried another tablet, the Google Nexus 7, and again that tells me it's not supported, and of course it keeps crashing as well. And like I said before, since this is a new drone, RYZE will keep putting out firmware updates and everything will soon be fixed. Taking a close look at the Tello, you can see we have the power button to turn the Tello on and off on one side, and on the other side you have the USB battery charging connection. It's nice that the charging connection is built right into the Tello, but what if you own more than one battery? There's kind of a problem because each time you want to charge a battery, you have to leave the Tello on the ground. You can't fly while charging a battery. One item that I really like are the prop guards. They are made of the same type of solid resin plastic. They're super easy to attach and remove and very much necessary for indoor flight. Also, have a look at the legs of the Tello. They've added little rubber feet, which is a really nice touch. The Tello has brush motors. This is the year 2018 and brush motor technology has come a long way. These motors are some of the best. They work perfectly with the flight controller and sensors to keep the Tello perfectly still in the air. In addition, when the Tello does a flip, 2 of the motors must spin up to full speed in under a second and then return to half speed in order to keep the Tello stable. This is pretty amazing. I've never seen a mini drone able to do this in the confines of a very tight space. Check it out in this video as I'm flipping side to side and front to back, all in the space of 2 feet. Now speaking of those brush motors, check out the wires that travel from the flight controller to the motors themselves. It's super micro thin and it's embedded in the plastic arms. This is a really pro feature. However, if you damage an arm, you're likely to damage the wire as well. Another item I was impressed with are the propellers for the Tello. The Tello could have come with very simple toy propellers, however these ones are actually designed for thrust and low noise. But If you crash, they do break, as you can see here. Thankfully, the Tello comes with 4 spare props that are easy to install. The Tello uses DJI technology to help it remain stable in the air, and it's very apparent. Indoors, the Tello is massively good, probably one of the best. As long as the bottom sensors are not obstructed and the ground has a pattern to it, the Tello will remain perfectly still in the air. That is, of course, if there is sufficient light. If there is not sufficient light, the Tello will just drift until the battery becomes low. So if you are flying in low light, you have to keep 100% manual control. Another really cool feature about the Tello and all its sensors is it has the ability to stay in almost one position and do a 360-degree turn. While it turns, it remains at the exact same height, and if it moves a little bit, it moves by inches and not feet. Now, the Tello drone is one of the few inexpensive drones that actually sends telemetry information back to your phone. You can see on the Telo app that it displays the height, the speed, the Wi-Fi strength, the remaining battery power in percentage. If the battery gets too low on the Tello will then begin to lower itself and you'll get a notice on the screen to land. Another thing that sets this drone from its competition is the actual Telo app. When you go into the settings panel, you'll see there's many adjustable settings and various screens. You can really configure many options on this drone. Now, even though the Telo app is really great, there is something wrong with it. One of the most glaring things missing from the Telo app is the ability to share your photos or video on social media. This little drone is almost like a selfie drone, but you can't share any of the information. You have to locate the photos and video on your phone and then share them as if you took them with your phone or camera. Now, as I mentioned at the start of the video, the Tello is a great indoor drone, but that changes when you fly outdoors. The Tello does not like the wind, and if the wind is strong, it's just going to take your Tello away and you're going to have to run after it, like you can see me doing here in this video. The wind just took it and I could not get control of it. If you launch the Tello indoors, it flies straight up and hovers. It's amazing. If you launch the Tello outdoors and it's windy, it does not fly straight up. It will lift off the ground and immediately fly away with the wind for about 5 to 10 feet, and then it will try to stabilize itself if it can fight the wind. Best not to get snow on the Tello. Kind of messes up the sensors. The Tello will actually land like a DJI product. If you hold down the left joystick and land, the motors will actually shut off as soon as it touches the ground. Just like the automatic takeoff function, it also has an automatic land function if you don't want to do it manually. And if you want the option to land the Tello in your hand, well, it's quite precise. You just select it and the Tello will come down nice and soft in your hand and the motors will shut off as soon as your hand is touched. Now, if you're thinking of buying the Tello and you're wondering what exactly does it come with, well, here's a super fast unboxing. Alright, a quick unboxing of the Tello. Now, one thing you're going to notice on this box, check this out, this is very odd. On the bottom it says Tello, DJI, and Intel. Do you see the word RYZE? We all know that RYZE made this, but let's flip over the back. Nope, no RYZE, nowhere. You got to look in the small print right there. Do you see it? That's the only place you'll see the word RYZE. Very strange. It's almost like DJI said, you know what? This is kind of our product since we put our technology into it. Very strange. Anyways, let's get on with the unboxing. Now I'll just take the protective covering off the drone. And there we go, there's the Tello. In the very bottom of the box is where all the accessories are. They're all falling out. Quick start guide, extra props and the prop removal tool, and the battery, which is a 3.8 volt 1-cell battery running at 1100 milliamps. Next, we'll do a quick weighing of the Tello, pop the battery in, and it comes up to 89 grams. So as you see, the Tello is a really good mini drone in its current form, and well, it can only get better. Now, if you're wondering, if I have the Tello and I'm out in an open field with no interference anywhere, how far away can I fly the Tello? Well, you can fly at about 60 meters, maybe 80 meters at best. If you go too far, you'll get a notice on your phone, and basically the Tello, if it loses connection, will just slowly land. Now, for the Tello pilots out there that are super serious and really like this drone, well, you can actually attach a game controller via Bluetooth to your phone. It doesn't increase your distance, it just makes it easier to fly with the joysticks. And finally, the Tello is compatible with the Scratch programming language. Now, if you don't know how to use the Scratch programming language, ask your children. So this brings me to the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button. For more drone reviews and discussions, please hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next video. Take care.